Hey Ray, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're here with Ray Fulcher, Center Stage Magazine. You're getting ready to play a show.
I am.
All right. How excited are you right now?
I'm super excited. Yeah. Well, this is it's about an hour before, so a little while, get ready to start. Warming up the vocals and get ready, get my mind right.
Very cool.
Game time. So
absolutely. Do you have any weird what's the word I'm looking for? You're gonna have to
kind of
edit
traditions.
this. Traditions or wow, my brain. Rituals.
Rituals before.
Do you have any strange rituals that you do before shows?
Not typically. I mean, I always try to take the last 15 minutes to, just to kind of warm up, and then just kind of get. I mean, it really is like sports. It's like trying to get your mind right to to go out there and do what kind of what you've been practicing to do. So,
absolutely.
I probably would, because I'm a that kind of guy. But it's like every some nights you're playing at 9, some nights you're playing at 12, and some shows are 2 hours, some are tonight's 45 minutes, so it's like, and you're in different states, different cities, different venues, so it's like hard, at least for me sometimes, and all that chaos to to have a routine that I always stick to.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. When it's not consistent, especially with elevation changes and air changes and temperature changes and all sorts of things.
I've always wanted to play in Colorado.
Right.
You should go check that out. That's super
there you
hot
go.
out there, right?
I bet, right? I know. I have a habit of yawning a lot before a show. Do you ever do that?
I don't.
No?
Should I try that?
I mean, it's a good stretch.
Yeah, it is.
But
who knew? I'm gonna start.
I get really anxious. So if you ever find yourself getting anxious, it's such a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Just yawn over and over again.
Oh, that's a tip. I'm gonna take it from this.
But make sure you breathe, because I want you to breathe. Anyway, so you grew up in Georgia.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what part of Georgia again?
Harlem, Georgia. So it's
Harlem,
outside of Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
About 30 minutes up I-20.
Okay.
But we it's where I grew up. And it's a small, one red light town, but I love it. So,
and you went to the University of Georgia.
I did.
Got 2 degrees, I read.
Did, yeah.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So I went there, and so while I was there, I actually worked with the football team. I was a student assistant for them, and then stayed and got my master's degree in education. So I was going to go be a teacher and a coach. But so when I came out of college, for the I guess in the last 50 years before that, that year was the biggest drought in teaching jobs. So I had to find something else to do.
Right.
So I spent a year selling cars. Never thought I'd see myself do that, or never saw myself doing that, but learned a lot. And then I was a parts and service manager at an ATV and Wave Runner store, and I don't know much about those, but I was the parts and service manager, so I had to learn on the fly.
There you go.
And then I was an assistant sales manager at a gym called Evans Fitness Club. So all those taught me a lot in different ways. But while I was doing that, I was playing, traveling, kind of trying to build a fan base, and just got to a point where I had to make a decision whether I was going to move to Nashville or not. And
take it seriously.
Yeah. So I did. It'll be May of this year. It'll be 3 years.
Oh wow.
So,
okay. Well, congrats on that.
Thank you.
3 years.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have 2 EPs out.
I do.
One, Turn It Up. Released in 2012.
Paint This Town is actually 3 now. So
three,
Turn It Up is 2012, and then 14 was Paint This Town, and then September of 16 last year was Here We Go Again.
Okay, so that's your latest.
That's the latest.
That's great. Okay, and we were talking before the interview that you know Luke Combs.
I do. Yeah.
A very great writer here in Nashville, great artist, and you said that you had written with him about 8 songs on his.
So Luke, I have, and Luke, me and Luke, when we kind of moved to town within a couple months of each other, and we just I don't remember exactly when we met necessarily, but I just remember us hitting it off and having a lot of things in common, same sense of humor and stuff like that, and so it became a friend first, and then we were like, well, let's try writing together, and then so we started writing every Tuesday for like a year and a half, and out of that came, I don't know, me and Luke we were talking this week, and we wrote 25, 30, maybe more songs together.
That's great.
So 8 of those that we wrote together are going to be on his record coming this year. So.
Okay. And have any of those songs made it on your latest EP?
Yes, actually, the title track "Here We Go Again" is one I wrote with Luke. So
Here we go again.
That's right.
Cool. Right on. So what's your goal with this right now? Like, I know you're playing a lot of shows.
Right.
Mainly Nashville, or are you traveling outside?
Well, I don't. Tonight's kind of rare, actually. We don't get a chance to play in Nashville a lot. A lot of times we'll hit the road and go to we hit the Southeast pretty hard, the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama. Sometimes we dip down into Florida, and then we hit the Midwest some. But really and that's the old, that's kind of the old school way of doing things, where you go and to the people, and but I think when you can see someone live and you like it,
Yeah.
you're a fan for life, you know. So I think that's important, and also just trying to, you know, pushing the you know, the songs, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, or, you know, whatever the case may be, and writing, you know, getting people to cut your songs, and just trying to be a better writer every day, and then hopefully, you know, somewhere along the line those intersect, and you know, you're successful, whether it's a writer or, I mean, I think my personal goal, what I've always said is, if I have a tangible goal, I think is to have a number one song as a writer and a number one song as an artist, and if I can do that, then a lot of other stuff has come along the way. Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of my, you know, my long-term goals. But so that's what I'm kind of working towards.
Do you find yourself expanding on your writing style? I mean, do you ever kind of like sneak out of your comfort zone more?
Yeah, I do. I actually like doing that. It makes it fun, you know, to write in different, not necessarily different ways, because it's kind of hard, you know, to change like your ways of thinking, like kind of your what comes natural to you.
Sure.
But different styles of songs, and getting with different writers whose alley might be a little bit different. You know, I'm like more traditional.
Yeah.
Like 90s country was is a big influence for me, but it's fun getting into the room with writers and artists that, you know, maybe pop's they're a bigger influence, or maybe bluegrass, or maybe, you know, blues or something. Right. So you know, really the whole spectrum. It's cool to kind of do that, because to me it's refreshing, it's challenging, you know, and it makes you want to be on your A game. Absolutely. You know, because if you step outside the box, it's like you said, it's exciting, and you want to do good. You want to like prove to whoever's in there, man, I can do this too. You know, like you know,
it expands your chops, really.
And to me, it's fun. I mean, I grew up on all kinds of music. You know, so I would say, as an artist, like the 90s country thing is kind of my biggest influence. Sure. But I also grew up on. I think the first music I remember hearing was the Temptations and the Four Tops of my parents, and Elvis. My mom loves Elvis, so you know, all the way up, you know, to blues music, and you know, the whole thing. So
so you have a lot of influences.
Kind
of in your style.
And I think that's maybe why I like to write all kinds of different stuff, just because even if it's not for me as an artist, it's for somebody. Yeah. You know, and I take pride in being able to do this and that. Sure. You know, so.
Sure. I find, I'm a writer too, but I find that I'll grab inspiration from different things. If it's like a life event, or
absolutely.
Sometimes I'll hear a saying and I'm like, oh, that's a good song.
In the middle of a conversation, I was telling somebody about this the other day. They were like, well, where do you get your ideas? I was like, really, you might have just gave me one 5 minutes ago, but you would never know it. Like just something you said, or, you know, taking a word that that on the surface means, or a word or phrase that doesn't mean a whole lot. Right. Taking it and finding a way to twist that into like a song that, you know, makes, you know, a hook. Yeah. You know, something makes people think, or, you know, the end of that chorus that makes people be like, oh yeah, I get it. You know, so
ties it all together.
And that's what, as a writer, that's what you live for.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So what do you got in store for us tonight?
45 minutes of fun.
45 minutes of fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna play. It's, I guess, what I told the guys earlier, when you think of honky tonk and dance hall, you think of Wildhorse. Sure, you know, so absolutely. This is like what your mind goes to, is like this place. So
you want people's booty shaking.
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, out there, you know, boot stomping on the floor and stuff. So we're gonna have fun, and hopefully everybody else does too.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to hear you. What do you want your fans to know before you leave us today?
Well, just thanks for the support, because it's and you know this, if you're a writer and anybody in the business, it's a roller coaster. So you need those, you know, there's just as many lows as highs. Yep. So when you're in those lows, you got to think back to the, you know, the people who support you, and you know, your fans that listen to the music, and on the way to work in the mornings, and you know, so on the weekends on the boat, and so you think about them, and you just want to make them happy and give them more. So for me, that's
they keep you going.
That's right. That's right.
You're there. All right. Well, where can we find you? I mean, I know you have your website up and everything. But right. For those watching.
Yeah. So it's rayfulchermusic.com, and we're actually going through a what do you call it? A redo, or not a redo, but revamp, like a revamp. So we're doing that right now. And then Ray Fulcher Music on Instagram. And then my Facebook page is just Ray Fulcher. It's like the musician page. So I have a, you know, personal one and a musician one. So musician one, and then Twitter is the most interesting of my names. It's at Call Me Raymond, Call Me _ Raymond. An ode to the old Brett Eldredge song. She Calls Me Raymond. Nice. There was not enough characters available for She Calls Me Raymond, so it's just Call Me Raymond. So
I love that.
Yeah, but I tried.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
There's going to be a test on this later.
Actually, that's so fun fact going back to Luke. The first time before we actually met in person, I guess I'd sent him a message before we moved to Nashville or anything. I had sent him a message like, "Hey, love your voice," and he sent one back and was like, "Listen to your stuff, I dig it." He's like, and then what was one right after that? He's like, "But first of all," he's like, "you have the coolest Twitter handle I've ever seen." He's like, "I laughed so hard when I saw that," because he knew exactly what it was about. So that kind of broke the ice for me and Luke,
Sure.
So.
Well, I have a funny Luke Combs story too, if I can tell you really quick. I wasn't going to bring this up, but if he watches this, maybe he'll get a chuckle. So we tried riding together one time, and I grew up not country at all, kind of pop, rock, that kind of thing. So we sat down, and it probably took us about 3 hours to like we had a bunch of ideas, but it took us about 3 hours to kind of get to an idea.
Yeah.
Well, if you know Luke, he's a Southern boy. He's a good old boy. And he has a lot of Southernisms that they were like this for me.
Yeah.
And I was telling him what I wanted to say, and he would put it in this term, and I was like, I don't even know what that means.
What is that about, though? Yeah, Luke does have a lot. We actually talk.
But he's great at it. That's the thing.
That's funny you brought that up. Like, we're all the time, like, somehow make a little saying, be like, oh, we got to use that one.
Yeah.
Or we'll, I'll bring something up that my dad or someone from back home said, and he'd be like, dude, I love that. I'm about to start using it, so. We're a big fan of sayings, so I'm glad he could throw some of that at you.
Well, I don't even know that we finished that song, Luke, saying, anyway.
Hey, come back and finish it. I mean, some of the best songs.
Maybe we just bring him in, too,
I'm into that.
Have some fun. Well, Ray, it was great talking to you. Thank you for interviewing with us, and we can't wait to see your set tonight.
Awesome, yeah, I can't wait.
I can't wait to hear the new EP. I haven't even heard it, so.
Oh, heck yeah. You got to check it out. I'm playing a lot of those songs tonight. So.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Yeah. All right. Signing off.